Alright guys, welcome to the video. My name is David Zambrano, and right now we're going to talk about Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Now, I'm gonna make a quick statement. It's because I actually do like Star Wars, but I actually never sat down and actually pay attention to the movie. I actually know what happens. It's just that I never really felt like the really emotional why people really love these movies and what they have to offer. So I decided to finally watch them, and I started off with episode one. I know that's probably a bad step, but we'll see where it goes. So Star Wars episode one. How did I see this movie? Well, oh my gosh, it was disappointing. I give it that, but this is like a guilty pleasure movie for me because I can still sit down and enjoy many parts of this movie. That's it to me. But I know it's just not a bad movie. It's just like it's dull. And when it's talking about dull means when I saw the acting in this movie, everything felt so flat for some reason. Like anytime somebody talks, it's like I can't really take them seriously. It just sounds like they're just reading their lines off the script. They're like, do you actually mean this, or like do you just not care? That's just the thing. I just don't know. And the CGI in this movie too is like there's parts where it's actually good, but then there's parts where it's just like it's really noticeable. It's like that doesn't look real to me. And plus when it gets to the plus plus but there's parts I really enjoy in this movie, especially because I know a lot of people hate it. I know a lot of people like argue with it because it's political and all that. It argues with that political stand, but I actually enjoyed that. Just that they didn't really make it entertaining as much as it should be. It's like there really wasn't much to do. They didn't really show what it's about, especially because I know like there are people who enjoy this movie because it's political, but it just come because but they're just focusing on they're just focusing on the subplot that they understand why this is happening, but the movie doesn't really fully acknowledge what it is. Like if you were to go into this movie completely blind, like not knowing what Star Wars is, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't really know what the fuck is happening. You just know that there's a journey. There's just the journey of these people. They just need they're getting invaded and they need to go to get help from the Senate. The Senate's not gonna help them, so they have to handle the problems on their own. And they find a kid that is technically gonna be the chosen one, pretty much, that we all know. But that's pretty much it. It's really dull. Like the best part about this movie is, everybody's favorite character, Maul, because he's a fucking badass. He just reminds you of that person. Like in action movies, like you just have that big guy, you just have that big buff guy to take on the hero of the story. That's basically who he is. And that's basically it. But the one thing I do like about this is how do you say the concept, like when you read, like at the beginning when you read the letters, the introduction, the paragraph pretty much, it talks about greedy, and I can understand why it talks about greediness, but in which case it will come back to haunt you, like when they land on Tatooine and they meet this fucking animal shit that flies. He just wants more money and more money, and he was even gambling on the races and all that. But I think it comes to show like he did that because he was really greedy with it, and then it backfired on him too. Especially because it also goes back to Anakin when he asked his mother about, "Mom, you said the worst thing in his universe is that nobody ever helps each other." Now that was a good line. I like that line, but the one thing, it does play off the greediness of people. Like people don't really want to help each other. It's just more that they want to focus on what they want without helping others. I get that part. I'm pretty sure that was the message of the movie, but it doesn't really flow. It doesn't really flow. It doesn't really send out the message of what people, in order for people to understand. Like it doesn't really acknowledge that part in the movie. It's all dumb. Plus, there's other big complaints about this movie in which like the conflict at first, like when you get to see the Jedi just like they're just like a little bit they seem like a little bit what's the word for it, maybe like a little nervous, or pretty much nervous or concerned about Cypher D was bringing Anakin, thinking that he's the chosen one. And at first they're letting him see, okay, let's check this kid out. Let's see what he's worth. Let's see how he works. But then again, it gets to the part where it's like, No, he won't be trained. And I get that part. Then later on, it's like, the chosen one he may be, but grave danger in his future I see. Like, to me, what changed? Like, they don't really explain what changed. Yes, Cyphers Diaz dies, and now Obi-Wan is asking permission to train Anakin, but I'm just like, why? It doesn't really explain it. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's just, what the fuck? It's really funny. Oh yeah, and let me get to the biggest problem. That a lot of people have with this movie and what it introduced into the Star Wars universe. And I guess you guys all know, Jar Jar Binks. Now, for me, here's what I have to say. He didn't really annoy me as much. Like there was times where I was just really like, shut the fuck up. But then again, then again, he didn't really bother me as much. It's just that I find it overall like he does not really need to be here in this story. Like there's no point for him to be here. Like he's just there, and there was like no reason for him to be there. Like I'm pretty sure they could have formed an alliance with the Gungans on their own without Jar Jar being there. It's like there was no reason for him to be there. But other things I can find enjoyment in this movie, there's like a lot of good lines said by the Jedi that are offered, and it's really kind of fun and entertaining. It's kind of like when they're going through the lake to travel to the city, and they get chased by giant fish, but then that fish that was chasing them gets eaten by a bigger fish, and it's just more like always a bigger fish there. Now that was nice. I actually enjoy that, but still, it just leads to the. But still, it's like there's no sense of emotion or urgency in this story. It's just more like it's like everybody's just calm, like everything's gonna work out. It's just like what? It's like there's nothing for me to latch onto. Like why should I really care about these people? Why should I even worry about these people? It just seems, especially because of all the dialogue they say. It just like I said, it just sounds like they're just reading off the line. They don't give a shit. It's like what the fuck? I don't know. It's really weird though. But let me go back to the CGI. There's times when the CGI does look decent. Then there's times when the CGI is noticeable. I know a lot of people. There's some people who are haters of CGI Yoda. Now I actually enjoy this the puppet Yoda used in the original trilogy, but the CGI Yoda, I think I actually like it. I like it how he looks like this. But there are times when the CGI just looks off. Like it's just off place and it wasn't finished yet. And which reminds me of Hishi videos when they were doing something like they were doing Anakin, he's talking to Yoda, Yoda's telling him fear is a path to the dark side, and it changes like from him being a puppet to CGI. It's like, Master, you look different. Different leads to Blu-ray. Blu-ray leads to 3D. 3D leads to online streaming. What does that have to do with anything? Get out. That part is funny. It's pretty funny. Also, there's other things I could find to enjoy, my favorite scene in this movie has to be the lightsaber battle between Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan. Now, that thing was really entertaining. To me, that is the best lightsaber fight in all the Star Wars movies. Trust me, it is so far. But the one thing I could say is, at the ending when Obi-Wan, he's like hanging on something that's preventing him from falling down the shaft, and Darth Maul just taunting him by swinging the lightsaber, flashing the ground with it. I know some people will argue that Darth Maul was defeated too easily, and there's others who say Darth Maul was taken by surprise. And my way, I think I could have made it better. Like Obi-Wan, he could have been using the Force to get the lightsaber, but he could have did this. He could have lifted himself. He could have did a backflip off the wall to the other side of the shaft. And as he's doing that, the lightsaber is going toward him. As he gets to the other side of the shaft, the lightsaber gets to him, and he jumps off and goes straight at Darth Maul to stab him. Like that would have been cool to me. Like that would have made a way better conclusion to the fight. That's pretty much it. But what else I have to say about the movie? The movie I actually like. It's pretty much a guilty pleasure movie for me. Like I can actually watch it and actually can find enjoyment in it. But overall, as a Star Wars movie, even as a film overall, it just feels like a TV show episode or something like that, like a bad one. And it's just nothing. There's really is nothing to it. Pardon me. But overall, I give this movie a 4 out of 10. It's not bad. It's just more like, to me, it's like it could have been. I think it could have been a lot better emotionally if the way every actor said their lines in the story. If they could have said it better, and not a flat, because everybody's talking in the exact same tone. If everybody was actually like fully acting, because I can kind of tell, like, George Lucas, he thinks everybody should be CGI, so he has a lot of green screens that are on his set. Like, I can understand why it ended up being like that, because all these actors are surrounded by it. But then again, I'm just like, seriously, you're actors. You still have to be in the moment. You still have to be in the emotional state of it. But I can tell they're all under the direction of George Lucas, and he knows that he made a mistake with this movie. Like that famous video where they're just watching the screening of it, and he's like, yeah, I may have gone too far. But that's pretty much it. Like, this is just a weird entry into the prequels. But overall, it's not a bad movie. It's still a Star Wars movie. You can still sit down and enjoy it. But overall, that's pretty much it. Okay, thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys soon as I watch more Star Wars videos and more movies to come. Thank you. Oh yeah, and if you're a Star Wars fan, look at comment section below. What is your favorite Star Wars character, and what is your best scene, and what is your best dialogue that they said in all the movies? Thank you.